Welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. Many startups use loans to fund their business. If you're taking a loan from family and friends, here are some points to consider. The first step is to determine the amount of the loan and how it will be dispersed to the startup. There's time-based disbursements. For example, the startup gets $20,000 now, $20,000 in 3 months, and the final $20,000 3 months after that. Then there's milestone-based disbursement, in which the funds are dispersed when the startup reaches specific milestones or goals such as prototype complete, product complete, customer sold, etc. The loan should be made to the startup and not the founder. You want clear dividing lines between the assets of the startup and the personal assets of its founders. Commingling personal assets with those of the startup is a bad practice. Avoid no-interest loans and establish an interest rate of at least 3%. If you set up a no-interest loan, the IRS will assume an imputed interest rate and tax the lender on an assumed amount of interest income received. Determine if a personal guarantee and/or collateral are required. Most startups don't have assets aside from the intellectual property created by its founders and employees, so collateral is usually limited. Personal guarantee states that the entrepreneur will agree to be liable for repayment of the loan if for some reason the business cannot make the payments. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start up something today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.